Roy Keane, Jamie Carragher, Michael Richards, and Daniel Sturridge about why Mo Salah is not considered the GOAT, and then AFCON was brought into it and major tournaments. People perceiving it to be Jamie Carragher disrespecting AFCON as a major tournament, and rightly so. Michael Richards and Daniel Sturridge pulled them up and said AFCON is a major tournament. If we're saying that the Euros and the Copa America are major tournaments, so is AFCON. And if Mo Salah wins an AFCON, that will definitely enhance his legacy because he's never won it, despite the fact that Egypt are the most successful team in the history of the competition. What were your thoughts in terms of Carragher almost dismissing AFCON as a major tournament?
Not surprised, because especially in this country, we dismiss AFCON as if it's a major tournament, and I don't even think we dismiss it. I think there's a multitude of things as to why. I think I think the scheduling is one, because it's mid-season. It's just like, if I have an African player, like I remember, who was it that said they don't want to sign Africans because they have to go off to AFCON? There was a manager that said that.
Was it Napoli? It was Napoli owner.
I think it was the Napoli
owner. I think, I can't remember.
It was something like that. So like people dismiss it because it's a mid-season tournament. But we can't play it during the summer because like Africa's hot during the summer. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
And so there's that. And the fact that you dismissed it, like we were blessed enough to we spent a month in the Ivory Coast, and then we also spent a month in Germany for both tournaments.
For the AFCON and Euros.
For the AFCON and the Euros.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, the AFCON was better than the Euros.
Yeah.
I'll be so real. Like
it was.
Euros was good, but the AFCON was a much better tournament.
It was a much better tournament. And it's a difficult conversation to have at AFCON because like we've experienced it luckily enough. I think we're fortunate to experience probably the greatest AFCON of all time.
Yeah.
The narratives are crazy. The stuff off the pitch was crazy as well. Like, and there's a tendency in this country to want to focus on the things that go wrong at AFCON.
Yeah.
Rather than focus on the fact that VAR and refereeing at that tournament was better than it was at the Euros, was better than it was at the World Cup.
Better than it was in the Premier League.
But way better than it is in the Premier League. That's not part of the conversation. The conversation is about the football. Obviously, we were there, and we have to be completely honest about experiences. Organisationally, it could improve, and that's on CAF as a federation. CAF need to stop bending to the whims of FIFA and Infantino and moving the tournament so people are confused as to when it is. I think that with the Euros, as a result of it being every 4 years, it feels a little bit more special to some people. But the Copa America is every 2 years, so it's...
And what I don't like is that no one disregards the Copa America.
Yeah.
Like we were saying that Messi hasn't won a Copa America, like he needs this. The same way Salah needs an AFCON, because Salah's about to be the Premier League GOAT, as we discussed earlier. People are not going to put him as the greatest African player of all time.
Yeah.
You can't be the greatest African player of all time and not have an AFCON.
Yeah, I agree. And well, the thing is with the Copa America, I don't think people disregard it, but people don't actively disrespect it.
Yeah, people
just they don't really care about it. With AFCON, people actively look to disrespect it, like because they view it as an inconvenience and they view it as a logistical nightmare.
Is it a colour thing? Is it a colour thing?
Of course
it's a colour.
Of course.
No,
of course.
I just wanted to use it.
Yeah.
No, but of course it's a colour thing, because let's look at the Copa America, for example. Other than Chile going back to back, and I think Uruguay won it recently. If you go look at the past history, it's Argentina, Brazil, Argentina, Brazil, Argentina, Brazil, Argentina, Brazil.
Yeah.
Because like other than Argentina, Brazil, Chile when they had like Charles Aranguiz, Alexis Sanchez and all them, man, and Claudio Bravo, Uruguay, there's like 3-4 teams that can win it. Other than that, it's the same 3-4 teams that do it all the time. You don't have that with the Euros. With the Euros, we've seen Greece win it. We've seen Denmark win a Euros.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say nations, but you know what I mean? Like, we see lesser nations win that. And yeah, we've done that too in a bit of AFCON. We saw Zambia win it in 2011.
The 2011, 2013?
No, because I was going to say 2013, but we won it in 2013.
Yeah.
We saw Zambia win it it was 2012. We saw Zambia win it in 2012. And so that does happen, but more time and I remember speaking to Chris Hughton at the AFCON, and when you lot got knocked out, and who did you lose your first game to? You had...
we drew with Cape Verde?
No, you lost to Cape Verde.
Mozambique.
You beat one of them, but I think you lost to Cape Verde.
I can't remember.
You lost to what?
Lost to Cape Verde. Lost Cape Verde.
And after that game, I spoke to Chris Hughton.
Yeah, lost Cape Verde and drew with Egypt, and then
Yeah. And I remember speaking to Chris Hughton after, who was the Ghana manager at the time, and he said the level of Cape Verde, or the level of the lesser teams, got much better. So the competition is getting better.
Yeah, of course.
And for like the way like Daniel Sturridge, and don't get twisted, Daniel Sturridge is not African. Michael Richards is not African. These men ain't African, so they don't have to say anything about Africa. Because there's even like fun facts, white people. There's not beef between Caribbeans and Africans, but Caribbeans don't care about AFCON. We don't care about what's their tournament called, the CONCACAF. Like we don't. See the way I disregarded it? Not disregarded it, but just like that's what happened. So the fact that they had to go and do that, they saw that as like an attack.
Of course. And
so as a racism thing.
I'm not here calling Jamie Carragher racist because like far from it. It's just that the dismissal just felt a bit like it felt a bit cutting. You know what I mean? And Jamie Carragher's known for like doing his research and being considered when it comes to his thoughts. But it was good to see Michael Richards and Daniel Sturridge kind of come to the defense.
How can you say it's not a major tournament? We're the biggest continent in the world. How can you say it's not a major? Is it a minor tournament?
I think maybe he was just like in the moment getting caught up in terms of what adds to the greatness of Mo Salah. And let's be frankly honest here. It's not the thing that's going to define him. Say Mo Salah wins.
It will define him in Africa.
But like I also feel like if he's an African that wins the Ballon d'Or, Africa will get behind him and say that he's an African great.
Yeah, of course.
So like AFCON of course will help to solidify it, but it's not the thing that will define him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's maybe where Jamie Carragher was coming from, but he said it in a dismissive way, and it was good for them brothers to pull it up as well. But I definitely like AFCON in Morocco. I'm looking forward to that more than I'm looking forward to other major tournaments.
Exactly.
And
where's the next Euros? I don't know. I know it's in England.
Is it in England?
Yeah, 2028. It's in England, UK. UK and Ireland.
We'll be there. We'll be AFCON as well. Make sure you look out for the content there. But yeah.